know what? I understand how people feel about this witness, but I'm going to defend her. She's 19 years old. She's been harassed and doxied on the internet. She's been called everything but a child of God by people who do not know her for the last year and a half. She's sat through depositions. She's been harassed. And, you know, I think that all in all, we have to remember that she's 19 years old and really just look at the context and the content of her testimony, which was totally consistent with every testimony that she's given.
Frank Taffy, a former neighbor of George Zimmerman and supporter of George Zimmerman.
I loved her. She's going to be the catalyst to setting George free. She's laying out a foundation for the defense. It's clearly that her testimony is contrived. You could see that she's being led. In essence, she reveals in her testimony, and you guys can quote me if I'm wrong, she said that when she said to Trayvon that you need to run, he said, I'm not going to run, and she said, why not? He said, I'm right next to my daddy's house. What does that mean? He was right next to his daddy's house. She is awesome.
Well, since you said I can tell you if you're wrong, I'll tell you if you're wrong.
Okay, hold on a second. John Lieberman. Okay, let's give everybody a chance to talk tonight. John Lieberman?
I have to disagree when Frank says that her testimony was contrived. It's pretty clear that she wasn't polished. She wasn't a coached witness, and sometimes that can come off as credible to juries. The fact of the matter is, this woman this is who you get. You know, she wasn't putting on any sort of facade. She let her demeanor show, and sometimes that can come off as credible. Frank, let me finish. Come on. Frank, let me finish.
Have you ever heard grass? Go ahead. Go ahead. I just want to know, have you ever heard grass?
You're referring to the fact that she said, and we played it a second ago, that she heard sliding on glass. I think what she was trying to say was something else, and I'll throw it to Dana Zwickel. Do you think that she was trying to say she heard a scuffle when she said, I heard grass?
You know, that's part of the problem with her testimony today. She is the messenger, and she's the main messenger. And if you can't hear her, and you can't understand her, and you can't follow what her message is, then that's what's going to be a problem for the jurors. You hit it right on the head. What was she really trying to say? Was she trying to say this, or was she trying to say that? No one really knows. And yes, she was not polished, and maybe she's been harassed. Maybe she hasn't been harassed. But the bottom line is the prosecution should have, you know, prepared her better and made her a better witness. She came off as disinterested at times, cavalier. I thought that she was very rude to defense counsel, who was not rude to her.
Williams.
Well, listen, I think that this young lady came off as just what she is, a very young lady who hasn't been in this position before, in a very tough spot, and she's still traumatized by the situation. Excuse me, Mr. Taft, you're going to respect me whether you want to or not. This young lady is traumatized, and therefore you see her nervousness. And what I liked about her, Jane, most importantly, like this, there were no facades. You get what you get, and I think she was credible, and her testimony was consistent and believable.
She lied under oath to the